Well, as you know, I resigned as parliamentary secretary, left government to join the third party of the opposition, and I'm seeking the open nomination in Eglinton-Lawrence. And if successful, we'll be taking on the current representative, Canada's finance minister.
As you just heard her say, your newest Liberal MP, Eve Adams, seeking the nomination in Eglinton-Lawrence. Well, she got to get the nomination, then she wants to run in that riding, held by Finance Minister Joe Oliver. And just in case you've forgotten who that is, well, Joe Oliver, no pressure, Eve. No pressure. Warren Kinsella joins us now to talk more about this. Warren, I can't stop laughing every time I think about Eve Adams running for the Liberals. And hey, good for your team.
I had nothing to do with this in any way, shape, or form. And if you interviewed Brian, 99.9% of the Liberals in this country, they'd tell you the same thing. Liberals are really, genuinely, very upset about this. They don't think it's appropriate. They think it's a bad decision, and they think more power to Eve Adams. She pulled off this stunt, but it looks bad on Justin Trudeau.
I think it does. Joe Volpe was MP for that riding of Eglinton-Lawrence for how many years? What, about 20?
20 years.
20 years. I covered Joe when he was, before he was in cabinet. I covered him when he was a cabinet minister and in opposition. He's a decent guy. He's not hard to get along with. She went and asked for his blessing, and you said no. So he won't endorse her. Mike Cole, you were telling me, he said what, over my dead body?
Over my dead body. He put it up on Facebook.
He's the provincial representative for this.
And he's represented the area for 20 years. Those are two men who I know rather well, who've represented Eglinton-Lawrence for many, many years. They have large Italian populations. They have large Jewish populations. Both of those men are strong supporters of Israel. They know the Italian community, Italian-Canadian community rather well. And I would say Eve Adams, who I kind of like. I think she's actually a smart person. She doesn't know those communities at all. And she is not from Eglinton-Lawrence. And I think the fix is in. I think that they've decided she's going to be the candidate, and all this open nomination stuff is a lot of bollocks. But yeah, she's going to lose.
There's no open nominations, but I do love that someone who was basically barred from running by her own party and then decided to become a Liberal, not before. And as you saw CBC reporting, she begged the PM to intervene and get her the nomination and said, I'm done with Dimitri. And the PM leaned over and said, I know he's in the lobby waiting for you. So that's why she's leaving. And the Liberals are saying, yeah, we'll take her. But they wouldn't take you. They wouldn't take Christine Innes. They wouldn't take Jody Emery. So there's lots of other people they're blocking as well.
Yeah, this thing is, Brian, an unmitigated fiasco. And it's not a fiasco because it reflects badly on Justin Trudeau, and I can tell you it assuredly does, or it reflects badly on Eve Adams or what have you. It is a fiasco because this is precisely the kind of thing that turns so many people off of politics. It's politicians looking after themselves and putting the people that they are there to represent, the people they work for, second.
And just throwing everything that they said before out the window. The reason she ended up in a fight that disqualified her from running for the Conservatives again is because she wanted to run in Oakville. She'd moved to Oakville, further west of where she was representing. And here's what she told the Globe and Mail at the time. She said, well, the Globe wrote, Ms. Adams relies on this in her messaging. I've always felt strongly you need to live in the area you want to represent, she said, adding she now splits her time between Ottawa, her current riding, in Oakville. So you've got to live where you want to represent, but now she wants to represent an area 2 cities over from where she lives.
And get used to it. There's going to be all kinds of that stuff coming out in the next few weeks. Because, I know the Liberals are feeling, the ones around Trudeau, not the party, that the story's kind of tapering off and it's going to blow over in something else. So you've got Gerald Butts tweeting about Rob Nicholson not speaking French, and they're tweeting about carbon pricing or whatever. They're hoping that the attention turns away, and it may. But it will come back when she stands up to give her first question in the House of Commons, when she has that nomination meeting, whenever she's standing beside Trudeau, this is going to be like a scab that is not going to heal, and it is going to be an ongoing problem for Justin Trudeau because it is doing exactly what he said he wasn't going to do, which is he was going to have open nominations. Well, I guess not, and that he was going to restore some dignity to the democratic process, which God knows we need, and this doesn't do that at all.
No, it doesn't. Okay, I want to. You talked about Trudeau. I want to show the tweet that he's putting out there, trying to change the channel. He says Canada's a bilingual country, like P.H. Couillard, that's Quebec's premier, Philippe Couillard. I'm concerned that PM Harper chose a foreign minister who can't represent that to the world. So he thinks the foreign affairs minister has to be bilingual. I want to play a clip of Lloyd Axworthy on Power Play, Don Martin show on CTV last night. And listen to this. And remember, Lloyd Axworthy, liberal hero. Roll clip.
Do you think you need to be bilingual to be a foreign affairs minister?
Oh, it's no question it's an asset, but I think more importantly is you need somebody who's kind of got a very steady hand. And Rob Nicholson, who, by the way, was at the Munich conference, has been a very solid performer. And as my wife said, who was from Quebec, when I spoke French, it made her ears hurt.
So Axworthy wasn't. He's on the left of the Liberal Party, and he's even calling Nicholson a good appointment, and this isn't an issue.
Yeah, I think it was, it's a fair criticism to make. It's an open question as to whether a lot of people agree with it. I think a lot of people probably agree with Mr. Axworthy. But, the bottom line is they were just getting this out, along with a bunch of other stuff, to just change the channel away from the disaster they made for themselves with Eve Adams. And, they're going to have more of that problem this weekend. They're having a big rally here in Toronto, in Mississauga, for the 50th anniversary of the Canadian flag. It's a wonderful event. It's a wonderful occasion. All of us should be celebrating. But everybody's going to have their camera pointed at Eve Adams and what's going to happen next. So, Justin Trudeau's really messed up his week. And I think me and Lloyd Axworthy and quite a few others aren't the only ones who think so.
All right. Warren, good talking as always. Chat soon.
Thank you, sir.